Okay, today's book that I'm going to read is called Mommy's Hometown. It's a great book, and it was obviously done by Koreans or Vietnamese. I would say Korean. It was written by Hope Lim and Jamie Kim, who is the illustrator. Hope Lim wrote the story. What's unique about this book is it's the first time I ever read one that is brand spanking new. This book came out 2022, and it is edition number 1. And I've never read a book that is that new. It's kind of a great feeling to have a brand new book, isn't it? Chances are if you buy a brand new book in the store, when you look at it, it'll probably say edition number 19. That means it's been reprinted for 19 years. This is edition number 1. Do you live in your hometown? I do. There's some people that want to go back to their hometown. I've seen shows about towns, and they interview some people, and they say, well, what are you doing here? And they say, well, I worked in Tokyo, but I decided to go back to my hometown to help my parents in their store or in their farm or something like that. And I think they missed their hometown. You know you could have 2 or 3 hometowns? That's right. I heard recently if you stay for like 4 years or so in a town, sometimes it becomes like your hometown. You get to know the people. You like the scenery, the town. You like the way it's laid out. And when you're gone, you wish that you would go back to your second or third hometown. And that's like me. I've been to 2 or 3 places that I've lived long enough that where if I went back, I would feel partly like it was a hometown. And I'd like to go back to Japan. I spent 4 years close to a town called Misawa, next to the air base. And I lived in Misawa Air Base. So here we go. One brief moment about the book is that explanation is that the woman on the front page has got her son. And I guess they live in the same country because they just take a bus or a train back to her hometown to show her son what it was like, because she would tell her son when she used to live there. And that's what the book is about. So let's get to Mommy's hometown. Here we go. Mommy's hometown. I need to lubricate that chair. Now I just gonna have to, one moment while I pull out the screen. I've got to see what I'm doing here. It looks better. Yep, better than before. So here we go. Mommy's hometown. There we go. Now I have to line it up. Oh wow. Oh no. It's Tippin'. Yeah, Tippecanoe and Tyler too. Bear with me one moment here. I got a little adjusting to do. Okay. I forgot to set it for double pages, so one moment. It's been a while since I've done this. And definitely, yep, have to set it for 2 pages here. Okay. There. And got to perhaps pull the lighting back The lighting, I gotta hurry. Okay, that's better. So now, maybe we got ourselves a story. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Back to the beginning. These beautiful, beautiful pictures here. Mommy's hometown. Mommy's hometown. Now, if you bear with me while I put on my glasses, here we go. Mommy's hometown. Okay. There we go. At night, Mommy would tell me about where she grew up. That's right, son. It was a nice hometown. Oh, tell me more, Mommy, tell me more. Well, there was a nice river to play in, and there used to be dirt roads. And on, Mommy tells her son. Obviously, she has not been back to hometown since she was a child. Okay. She said an old river weaved through her village like a long thread. This beautiful river here. It sparkled in the morning and shimmered at dusk. Oh, and an Oriental place looks very similar to Japan, even if it's in Korea. It does look like Japan too. Or Vietnam. Or Thailand. Or whatever. She and her friends would walk to the river and play there all day. They caught fish. Splashed each other. Unearthed treasures beneath rocks. Oh, look at that. Look at the little tadpoles. Wow. And dried themselves on the pebbled riverbank. There they are, talking to each other and drying themselves on a big rock. Yes, sir. The mountains nearby stood like giants. The sky was filled with billowing clouds. She could watch forever. Oh, this is a beautiful scene. They're marching down the dirt road, walking, marching, running, riding a bike, and he's leading the way with a flag like a parade. I have dreamed about playing in the river, and tomorrow I'm going to see it for myself, says the little boy. There they are, on a train, going to hometown. Wow, what a big town, said the woman's child. But when we finally arrive in Mommy's hometown, it doesn't look the way I had imagined. Mommy says over the years, her village has grown into a big city. The new replaced the old. It sure has. Now, I just hope this gets it all. If you look very carefully, you can see a house here. a store here, a coffee shop here, and behind that looks like the river. And here they are, walking down a street in Hometown. As we walk, I see an old house alone on the corner next to stores with worn out signs. Yes, there it is. The house on the corner that looks a little old and tattered. Mommy says it was once the best house in her village. But now, surrounded by shiny new buildings, it looks out of place. Or does it? It definitely would remind you of your hometown, because that was there when you were there. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Is this really the same place where Mommy grew up? Everything is different from her stories. Wow, said a little boy. It all looks different. That's the way it is, dear. It has changed. Then we hear Grandma calling us. Mommy smiles and says, "Some things change and some things stay the same." Hello, Mommy. There's Mommy. Mama's Mommy. Here we are back to the town. Later that day, Mommy and I walked down the street toward the river. She says the road to the river used to be all dirt with no cars. I wish I could see what it was like back then. There she is saying that. She's looking around with her mother, and she wishes that she could see what it was like back then. But perhaps she'll see a little bit when they get to the river. At least the river will look the same. Here they are. Here is the river. Now, in place of mountains, the tall apartment buildings stand like giants. Yes, they do. In place of billowing clouds, the gray sky spreads low. Perhaps it's a cloudy day. In place of pebbled paths, concrete walkways line the river. And there they are, walking down the concrete pathway, lining the river. And no one splashes in the water. And Mommy and I wade into the water. But they're still allowed to walk in the water. To wade in the water means you're going in water that's not very deep, maybe a little past your ankles. Aha! The stream, cold and strong, swirls against our legs. Hand in hand we waddle like two ducks through the rushing water. Ah, this is fun, Mommy. This is fun. Quack, 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 quack. Just like two ducks. Quack, quack. I jump when a school of tiny fish darts by us. Whoa, look at that. Look at the little bitty fish. Oh, isn't this great? With our backs bent and heads together, we unearth treasure until our feet and hands are icy cold. Oh dear, it may be time to leave soon. My feet are getting cold. So are mine, but I want to look at these little fish one more time. Here we go. Let's remove some rocks and look at some more. Look at them go, Mommy, look at them go. There's a lot of fish. And look at them go. And here's the beautiful river. Here is the beautiful river. And a lot of people from town has went to the river, because sometimes people want to get away from the hustle and the bustle, and they want to find a quiet place with some water, a fountain, a river, something, anything. Something like that. While we wait for our feet to dry, I notice others gathering near the river. People still come here after work and school, Mommy says. Over the years, so much has changed, but this river is just how I remember it. And here's other children who have waded into the water, and they got their hands waving in the air, waving at friends, standing by the bank of the river. The wonderful River Wahoo, where troubles are but a few. I threw that in for fun. Here's my most favorite picture right here. Beautiful pink sky, shining pink light on their faces. On our way home, the sky glows in soft hues as we walk through the city. Now the sun is beginning to set. The street lights are beginning to come on. And even a big city with skyscrapers can look good when the sun sets and the light shines through the buildings. It can look really good, reflecting off the glass and all the rest. It can really look good under a sunset sky. Now it's darker, almost dark. They're walking by that little old house again. There they are, looking at that old house. Yes, the stores with worn out signs are now open. So obviously they're talking about these stores with worn out signs. This store has worn out signs, and perhaps this one, but this is a coffee shop store, so it's a store too. So even the old house is lit up. Not lonely at all, but home to a family. As we see through the windows, there's a family sitting at the table, and there's a cat looking at us through another window. That's a little boy and her mother. Once again, walked down the first street they came to look at the little old house and the stores with the worn out signs. I used to play on this street. That's why she brought him down. This is where the woman used to play when she was a child. She used to play on this street. And she played until the whole sky turned red. And Grandma called me for dinner. Then I would race home. And yes, it's one of those nights, one of those sunsets again, where the skies have turned a beautiful red, shining its color on the buildings. I imagine Mommy playing as a girl under the red sky, and I am there too. I hear Grandma calling us. How about that? Imagination is so good they hear Grandma calling. Oh, would it be nice if Grandma could come back? If you've lost your Grandma, what would you do if you heard her calling again? I think you would be in shock. And there's one more thing. There's a cat walking on the fence or walking on the wall. Cats are everywhere. Had a mother cat that visited me lately with her kittens. She stayed a few days and then she left. I hear she comes back though once in a while. There it is. The pink sky, the final destination. Going back to Grandma, and which is the woman's mother. And we run home together to see Grandma. And here they go. Hometown and running home. Grandma's home will always be their home. And this ends the hometown story of Mommy's Hometown. A great little book. I hope you liked it. It reminded me of what it's like to lose your hometown or to be away and wish that you could come back. There's just something about a hometown, even if it changes, and even if there's skyscrapers in your hometown. My hometown is the same way. They're building 3-story high buildings, and they are changing my hometown every day. Hope you liked it. Mommy's Hometown. Here we go.